Welcome to Honeybee, real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. My name's Frank. After 3 years together, I finally decided it was time. I got down on one knee with the ring in hand, my speech memorized, and every detail perfectly arranged. Her answer was no. That same night, she posted on Instagram, "Know your worth, queens. Don't settle for less." I hit the like button, then left a comment that read, "Kings too." Everything shifted 9 months later. But to understand that, let me start from the beginning. Rita and I met in our final year of college at a mutual friend's birthday party. She was majoring in marketing, and I was finishing a finance degree. From the first conversation, we just clicked. Talking to her was effortless. 2 months later, we were officially a couple, and by graduation, we agreed to move to the same city and rent an apartment together. The first 2 years were great. We found a rhythm, me leaving for work early, her heading out about an hour later to her job at a digital marketing agency. Evenings were for cooking dinner side by side, binge-watching Netflix, and planning little weekend getaways. For our first anniversary, we escaped the mountains for a few days. For our second, we splurged on a fancy dinner at the steakhouse where we'd had our first date. Rita seemed genuinely happy. She'd text me throughout the day, bring me coffee during stressful weeks, and post pictures of us on Instagram with her mom, leaving heart emojis in the comments. But as we entered year 3, subtle changes started creeping in, and then became too obvious to ignore. Rita began working late more often, saying she had urgent client projects. Our weekend plans became hit or miss, often canceled last minute for work emergencies. The daily texts slowed down, and when she did reply, it felt more like obligation than interest. She went out with co-workers more, especially on Friday nights, our usual date night. When I suggested tagging along, she'd say they were just dull industry networking events that wouldn't interest me. Her social media posts changed too. Fewer photos of us, more solo shot of her at cafes, restaurants, and professional events. Her captions shifted towards self-growth, independence, and career ambition. Still, I was certain she was the woman I wanted to marry. I told myself her growing independence was maturity, or maybe I was simply too in love to imagine being with anyone else. In February, I started looking at engagement rings, spending my lunch breaks learning about cut, clarity, and carat weight. By April, I chose a classic solitaire diamond with platinum band, elegant and timeless. I spent weeks crafting the perfect proposal. I picked a location, coordinated with her friend Laura, to get her there without knowing I'd be waiting, and checked the weather forecast, sunny and perfect. On the morning of, my stomach was in knots. I'd rehearsed my speech at least 50 times. When she arrived, I gave them a moment to settle before stepping up behind her. I dropped to one knee, opened the ring box, and told her how much she meant to me, that I couldn't imagine my life without her. Then I asked her to marry me. She froze. 10 seconds of silence felt like an eternity. Then she helped me up, took my hands, and said she wasn't ready. She wanted to focus on her career, her personal growth, and figure out who she was before committing to marriage. She swore it wasn't about not loving me. It was about timing. I was crushed, but I tried to understand. We walked home in silence, the ring still in my pocket like a weight. That night, she went to Laura's to talk things through, leaving me alone with my thoughts. Around 9, I saw her Instagram update, a pink and gold background with the words, "Know your worth, queens. Don't settle for less." Crown emoji, hashtags, hashtag self-love, hashtag know your worth. I stared at it for minutes, hurt and confused. A few hours after rejecting my proposal, my girlfriend was posting something that made it sound like I wasn't good enough. I liked it and commented, "Kings too." Petty? Definitely. But it felt like the only way to respond without a public fight. She came home late and went straight to bed. The next morning, she acted as though nothing had happened. I didn't bring it up. But the days that followed were tense, polite, but stripped of the closeness we'd once had. She worked late. I hit the gym or visited friends. Neither of us mentioned the future. A week later, she suggested we take a break to figure out what we both wanted. She framed it as temporary, but her tone told me it wasn't. She moved in with Laura, still paying half the rent, while we sorted out our stuff. During the break, I focused on work, reconnected with friends, and joined my co-workers Kevin and Tyler for weekly happy hours. I started hitting the gym regularly. It helped take my mind off wondering whether Rita missed me. Then Jessica, another one of Rita's friends, messaged me. She asked how I was doing. We'd never really spoken one-on-one before, but she seemed genuinely concerned, not fishing for gossip. Over the next few weeks, we talked more. Finally, she told me something that changed everything. Rita had been secretly seeing another guy for months before I proposed. The guy, who worked in software sales, knew she was in a relationship but didn't care. Rita had been comparing me to him, seeing him as more successful, exciting, and offering the lifestyle she thought she wanted. She decided that staying with me was settling. Our break was her chance to explore him more openly, keeping me as a backup. It was a brutal truth, but it explained everything: the distance, the rejection. She hadn't doubted marriage in general, just marriage with me. Over the next few months, I heard through friends that the new guy refused to commit, canceling plans last minute and ignoring her messages for days. Her posts shifted again. Quotes about not chasing those who don't value you, mixed with pictures from fancy restaurants I knew she couldn't afford. Meanwhile, Jessica and I kept talking, bonding over shared interests I'd never noticed before. We started hanging out, just friends at first, but there was a connection. By month 6, Rita's upgrade had ended things completely after she pushed for exclusivity. She was devastated. Around the same time, Jessica admitted she'd always felt something for me, but never acted on out of loyalty to Rita. We agreed to proceed carefully, aware of the social complications. By month 8, Rita and I had officially separated. Jessica and I had our first date. It felt effortless. Unlike with Rita, I felt truly seen and appreciated. We kept things private at first, but our relationship grew stronger. Over a year after Rita's rejection, I knew Jessica was the one. I proposed in a place meaningful to us, and she said yes instantly. No hesitation, no doubts. We posted a photo with a caption, "Excited to start this next chapter with my best friend and the love of my life." The support was overwhelming. But that night, Rita called, crying drunk, saying she thought I'd fight for her after she said no. She admitted she regretted choosing the other guy and hoped we'd reconnect. I told her calmly that I was happy with Jessica and wasn't looking back. She didn't take it well, making multiple attempts to reach me afterward. I eventually blocked her to protect my relationship and peace of mind. Now, 18 months later, Jessica and I are planning our wedding. Looking back, Rita's Know Your Worth post is ironically a private joke between Jessica and me. Not out of malice, but because of what it taught me. Rita thought she was avoiding settling. In truth, she settled for someone who didn't value her, while I learned what knowing your worth really means: recognizing when you're undervalued and finding someone who truly appreciates you. Sometimes rejection is just the universe clearing the way for something better.